in the wrong side of that doesn't get any help to make the right decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, it would have. I mean, the attack broke down, of course, but you can argue that shirt pull would have put Chris Wood off. In fairness to Wood, there were minimal complaints from the New Zealander, but it definitely was a foul by Maguire.
He's a rugged sort of player, and he sort of lived by the sword, died by the sword. But, he might make that kind of foul himself, but it's still a foul.
Absolutely good ball by Greenwood over to Sancho, who swapped sides for the time being. Sancho on the right. Sancho into McTominay, who shoots, and it's a great save. Ronaldo taps it in, but the flag will surely go up. No, it's not for now. In fact, it's been given as a goal. And Manchester United have a 3-0 lead. A really good save originally by Hennessy, but Ronaldo on hand to tap in, and now it is 3-0 Manchester United. But of course, you will wait for the VAR check to confirm.
Is it the fact that the goalkeeper touched it onto the crossbar? I'm not sure when it comes back out to Ronaldo. I don't know. Anyway, we'll take another look at it. They're giving it. I'm sure VAR will take a long look. Does Ronaldo keep on side in all of this? When the shot comes in, he's on.
He is on side. It's a really good save by Hennessy, and Ronaldo's just there to simply tap the ball in. And what's been a frustrating half for the Portuguese, he does have his goal, but McTominay nearly his second. And again, you just got to feel sorry for Wayne Hennessy there, because it's a really good save onto the post. But Ronaldo, of course, like every great poacher, is there to simply react first and tap the ball in.
He's waiting for it, isn't he? And that may look simple, but he's just preparing for that ball to come to him. And I'll tap it in. First touch. Don't have to set himself, but he's waiting, and the angle of his body, he's waiting for that ball to come to him. If it does, you see so many players who it takes them by surprise. Ooh, I'm inside the box. The ball's pinged back to me. Well, I wasn't ready for it, and so that's why my shot went wide. Ronaldo just taps it in.
That is why Ronaldo has scored so many career goals on hand there to tap in the loose ball. I really thought he was offside originally, but that was not the case. And if there wasn't a mountain to climb for Burnley before, there certainly is now. 3-0 down. Not played a game for 18 days, of course, but they started well in this one as well. It's easy to forget, but now they certainly are up against it. Sean Dyche's side. Taylor comes forward for them on the left-hand side now and crosses. Eric Bailly's there to clear. And then Greenwood takes it down. He's robbed by Goodmanson. And Taylor goes take it beyond Wan-Bissaka, but that will be a goal kick. And really for Burnley, do you think in the second half, of course the score gets worse from Dyche, will make a couple of changes, or do you think that getting the players the minutes is more important?
I think what he may do is take Lennon off. It'll be the sacrifice to get even more mean and play maybe a 4-5-1. Lest we forget, as you mentioned it, their goal difference isn't that bad, is it? Same as Southampton, who were sort of mid-table. But they've got to be careful. Watford are only minus 13, and goal difference could end up being like a point. It's tough at the bottom, and what they don't want to do is ship a load of goals tonight. It looks like the game has gone, though.
Absolutely. Lennon brings it forward now, though. Good play from him. Lennon into the area, has a shot. It's a good goal. It's a goal for Aaron Lennon. The forgotten man, Aaron Lennon, with a really good finish. And all of a sudden, Burnley have, you can argue, a route back into the game. And what a finish from Lennon. Rolling back the years, you can argue there.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Aaron Lennon. He's actually had a good half. And there when he picks up the ball, it was a mistake from Bailly. He hurdles the challenge of Matic, should have brought him down, and then it's a real tidy finish. Maguire doesn't get to grips with him, and he just rolls it inside the post. Like I said, he liked to play second striker when he was younger, and that's a great striker's goal.
Absolutely, what a finish that is. David De Gea certainly got his hand out, but he just doesn't really get near it. Aaron Lennon's made 28 appearances against Manchester United in his career. That's his first goal against the Red Devils, but a really good one as well. His first goal, in fact, in September 2018 in the Premier League. So Aaron Lennon rolling back the years, a very good finish from him. And like you say, John, he's had a really lively half, Lennon. So if anyone deserves a goal for Burnley, it's him. That's a really poor back pass. Ronaldo might get on the end of that, but Hennessy just gets there, and Burnley, well, they might have had a route back into the game. It was nearly gone within moments there.
Well, I tell you what, we've got a 4-goal game already. With 39 minutes in, it's a shame it's not 2-2. I'm sure the Man United fans who've lumped on the Red Devils are probably happy enough anyway, even at 3-1. But yeah, it's exciting. It's good to see goals, and that was probably the best goal of the game.
Absolutely really good finish by Lennon. A wasteful ball downfield by Lowton. It was Lowton then who gave a pretty poor back pass ready to Hennessy, and he's lucky that his goalkeeper got there first, because if he didn't, then Ronaldo of course takes it round him and puts it in the back of the net, and Burnley's route back into the game comes undone immediately.
I tell you what, I mean, 3-1. So I mean, it's a comfortable first half for Manchester United, but like I said, the scoreline doesn't reflect it. I think Man United have taken their chances well and got lucky with the deflection and all that. But I don't think they're 2 goals better than Burnley so far tonight.
No, Burnley have certainly had the chances. McTominay gives a poor ball there. McNeil steps in, but then he loses out to Shaw. Manchester United can come forward again. Sancho back onto Shaw. Shaw crosses blocked by Lowton out for a corner. But I'd agree with you there, John. I think that Burnley, they've done well in this first half, really. They've created chances. I mean, just at the back, they've looked a little bit poor, which is usually the opposite of Burnley, really. Usually not the most pleasing on the eye, but they defend very well. But tonight we've seen a bit of an opposite from Burnley.
Yeah, the other thing about them is if you think, they're a miserable sort of defensive team, well, they've held the shape high up the pitch today. To be commended, they've had a go. It might have backfired, and Man United have a corner now, but yeah, I think they've done pretty well tonight. That sounds a bit patronising, but I mean it. I think, they played pretty well, but the scoreline just doesn't reflect it.
So you know, it's a bit of a argument in the area between Hennessy and Matic. Manchester United do have a corner approaching half-time. Greenwood to take an out-swinger. It's headed away, not the best delivery by Greenwood. Shaw back to Greenwood again. Approaches the area, crosses to his left foot, and it's over. Ronaldo gets there, but he heads over. We know Ronaldo's leap, we know what he's capable of in them positions, but always going to be difficult from him to direct that goalwards.
Greenwood did well there, didn't he? Just poked the ball ahead of himself, backed himself to have more pace than the Burnley winger Goodmanson, and stood the ball up nicely to the far post. There's plenty to like about Greenwood.
Yeah, very talented player. Mason Greenwood came through the Manchester United Academy. A very, very talented player indeed, who's got a bright future ahead of him. Here's Lowton for Burnley. Goes down the line. It's headed away by Eric Bailly. Taken down by Cork. Out to Taylor. To Tarkowski. Has been linked with Newcastle. A move to Newcastle United in January, which is a move that Burnley will not want to happen, especially with Newcastle being relegation rivals. Ball out to Ben Mee again. Mee to Taylor. Taylor goes back to Mee. If Burnley get another before half-time, that will certainly make things interesting going into the break. Westwood to Tarkowski. McNeil. Tarkowski again. Westwood good spell of possession this from Burnley. Here's Lennon, the Burnley goal scorer. Lowton with a cross, and it's going to be blocked out for a corner, and a good spell of play this from Burnley. And again, if they do get a goal in a moment, then we're going to have an interesting team talk. Ralph Ragnick's team talk's going to change a lot, I imagine. Well,
it'd be great, wouldn't it? I mean, as neutrals in this, we just want to see the goals keep on coming, and set piece as good as any. I don't think Man United are particularly talented at set piece, and they've got plenty of tall guys in there, should be good in the air, including Cavani, Ronnie, and then Matic, as well as your 2 centre backs. But Burnley are a big, big team.
It's going to be McNeil with the corner. It's not a bad one either. Maguire will head it away. Lowton goes up, heads it back in. Cavani, and Cavani was fouled in the end. We've barely mentioned Cavani's name so far, John. It's got to be said, but the Uruguayan, he really needs one chance to get a goal. But yeah, it's been quite quiet so far, Cavani, surprisingly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, they might well think about making a change at the break. Again, he's another one who's a little bit long in the tooth, isn't he? Although, maybe a run out for Rashford. He seems to be a little bit out of sorts at the minute, but he's a good player. I'm desperate for Marcus Rashford to do well as an ex-free school meals boy. But anyway, he's having a bit of a struggle with form at the minute.
Yeah, ball from Westwood down the line's poor, and it just will run through to David De Gea. 90 seconds until the 45 minutes are up in what's been an entertaining first half at Old Trafford. The Spanish keeper has the ball in his hands. He will kick it upfield, which will be headed away by Tarkowski, and Lennon flicks it on, but Maguire will get there ahead of Wood and play it back to De Gea, who plays it out. It's well taken down by Greenwood to Wan-Bissaka, who prods it forward. Westwood takes it down, competes with Cavani. McTominay then steps in to win it and finds Ronaldo. Chance for him on the left-hand side. Scott Shaw on an overlap. He finds Shaw. Shaw crosses, and it's well defended by Tarkowski with his chest, and Lowton can complete the clearance. But promising break there by Manchester. That looks like Burnley have a player struggling there as well. Might be Westwood, as McTominay is certainly a foul, of course, on by Cork. But promising break for Man United, but well defended in the end by Tarkowski.
Yeah, I think Scott McTominay's done pretty well in that engine room tonight. They had to see off a lot of early energy from Burnley, but Burnley haven't been able to maintain that pressure on them, have they? And I think Man United just thought, right, we'll try and pass our way out of this, and then, once we've taken the sting out of them, we'll be able to get a bit more going, which is pretty much what they've done.
Shaw into the area, it's headed away by Ben Mee. Maguire wins it back and finds Sancho. 2 added minutes at Old Trafford. Maguire cross in, it's blocked away though by Taylor. Maguire has it again. Matic, Wan-Bissaka into Sancho. He's looking to bring it forward. In the end, he's just run into a bit of trouble, but Wan-Bissaka plays it back to the Englishman. Sancho, Maguire into the area. It's not a bad ball either to Greenwood, who does take it down. He's actually made that and turned that into a better ball than it maybe was, but he's well challenged though. And Mason Greenwood, you see him there getting an applause by the Old Trafford faithful. He's a very well respected player, Greenwood, and like I say, he's got a very bright future ahead of him. Yeah,
he sort of came out of left field really this season, didn't he? And you thought, well, who's this kid? But after you've seen him a couple of times thumping the ball the back of that, well, he's got a prodigious strike. He's good with both feet. He's quick, and certainly he's had a lot of game time this season. Here he's in the box, but we gave him the big build-up for an awful shot, scraped with his right foot. But also, he comes from where I live, Wibsey, so I'll forgive him that. But he looks a real prospect, I think, and he's had a lot of first-team action this season.
Yeah, of course, did give him the big build-up there. It was a really good turn away from Aaron Lennon. On his weaker right foot, though, he really dragged the shot harmlessly wide. But Greenwood is a player, of course, he could do with some goals. He's not actually scored since mid-October, Greenwood, in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester City for Manchester United. So he could do with getting back on the score sheet. Ball upfield headed away by Maguire. And then Taylor heads it on. Goodmanson wins it against Wan-Bissaka, but Bailly heads away. Bit of head tennis going on, but then Ronaldo takes it down. And then Cork competes for it, but the ball falls to Matic. Maguire out to Shaw. 2 minutes are up now, but Shaw plays it against McNeil. Eventually clears, and the half-time whistle blows. What's been an entertaining first half at Old Trafford. 3-1 it is to the host Manchester United. Scott McTominay, an own goal from Ben Mee, and Cristiano Ronaldo score for Manchester United. Aaron Lennon has pulled one back for Burnley, rolling back the years with a very good goal. Half-time score, Manchester United 3, Burnley 1.
It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. The Clarets started pretty well, but it was the home team who grabbed the first goal. In 8 minutes, Scott McTominay with a good right foot drive just inside the post. About 20 minutes later, they grabbed their second. Jadon Sancho made inroads into the box, but his shot deflected in off of Ben Mee and on goal. They hit a third through. Ronaldo with a tap-in, a shot saved, pushed onto the post back to Ronnie. Then Aaron Lennon, the goal of the half, rode a challenge and chipped it in to make it 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee and on goal. The third goal, though, came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo, following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. It's half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Although the Clarets started the brighter, it was Manchester United who scored first through Scott McTominay, a good right foot drive in 8 minutes. Next up was Jadon Sancho driving into the box, and his shot eventually going in off the toe end of Ben Mee, an own goal. The third goal though came to Ronaldo following up a drive from McTominay at the edge of the area. But then the goal of the half came, Aaron Lennon riding a challenge and clipping a ball in the inside of De Gea for 3-1. Well, it's a very warm welcome back to our coverage of the game at Old Trafford. And like I said, 3-1. Doesn't really reflect what happened in the first half. I thought Burnley played pretty well, and they scored a cracking goal as well. Sam, if they're going to get back in, the Clarets need to score next, and probably fairly soon after the half starts, and get a little bit of impetus and maybe make the crowd quiet. For me, it's very difficult to see them coming back though.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've played quite well so far, to be honest, Burnley. They've certainly got nothing to be ashamed of. They've certainly pressed well and they've had moments in the game. But like you say, they need to score next if they're going to get back into the game, and very soon. But it's very difficult to see Manchester United throwing away a 3-goal lead here. I'll be very, very surprised if they do, and it will certainly be one of the great Premier League comebacks if Burnley do get something.
Well, I thought they might take Aaron Lennon off, but given they'd scored a goal in the first half, it would have been a bit churlish. Not to say that Sean Dyche would ever be listening in to us for any advice, but I just thought before he scored it 3-0, they'd probably be a bit more defensive and just dig in to try and help goal difference. But I guess a 2-goal game, and like we said, if they can score, get an early goal, then the agenda will be different, and it'll be again trying to maybe at least salvage a point from it. But quite difficult to see him making a comeback. Not that Manchester United have been foolproof tonight, and typically they've made one or two mistakes at the back as Ben Mee wins the ball, and then it's with Taylor. I see Charlie Taylor just try and get over the halfway line a little bit more. Westwood now ball to Lowton, but he's forced back. Again, the passing's got to be just a little bit slicker from Burnley, as we see a ball that Luke Shaw intercepts, but then it's headed forward by Sancho, who has given it away. He played his part in that second goal, Sancho, but other than that, he's not done an awful lot. And when you come to his goal, his shot was going to go wide, and eventually it came off Ben Mee and went in. Had Ben Mee not intervened, we'd have said, oh, it's a shot wide. We'd probably be giving Sancho 4 out of 5 for his first half.
Yeah, I'd go with that, really. I think he's been quite ineffective, Sancho. We saw a glimpse of what he can do, of course, for the goal. Okay, it wasn't his goal in the end, but he certainly created it. I say we're really yet to see the best of Sancho. Whether he does click and he does turn into the player we know he can be is yet to be seen. But, I mean, so far in his Man United career, though, just hasn't really gone his way. But we've seen a few glimpses of him, though, and like I say, but his first half, though, I think he was quite ineffective in truth, of course, bar that second goal. And there's certainly been better players on the pitch so far.
Ashley Westwood now pings the ball out to left-hand side. It's a good-looking ball. Taylor brings it in, but under no great pressure. Then he loses it. Greenwood inside to McTominay, towing it away to Cavani. Lennon's having a good game, isn't he? Just hurried up, but McTominay there, and he's put himself about today. It's all... I mean, I could see it working for him long term, playing second striker. If he played regularly like he's played tonight, you'd think, well, why not? You know, him ahead of Vidra or Rodriguez or whoever. I know they like to go with two big men, particularly at home, but it's been an encouraging display from Lennon tonight.
Yeah, I'd agree. And the thing is, though, obviously you get Wood and Lennon playing together. That's a really good partnership. Obviously, Wood can be there as a physical presence, and Lennon, of course, and I said at the start he'd lost his pace, but I mean, looking at tonight, though, he's done quite well with his pace, and that's what certainly caused Manchester United problems. And obviously, the goal was proof of that. Really, a really good positive run, which caused it. But I think that could work out quite well. And we've seen a lot of little and large partnerships in the past, and possibly on this evidence, Lennon and Wood could be one of them going forward.
Yeah, it's nice to be talking about Aaron Lennon in sort of present tense, isn't it? There's the ball into the box here. Ronaldo trying to get his head on that and had like a 50-pence piece there. It came off at an angle and went well wide. Yeah, I mean, it's a long time since we ever considered Aaron Lennon had maybe even a future in the Premier League, but he's looked really good tonight and put a lot of effort in. Oftentimes thought in the latter part of his career, hanging out the wing, you know, didn't see an awful lot of the ball, and maybe playing through the middle, it just offers him more opportunities to show the pace that he's got. And certainly he wants to be involved. He's mad keen to get involved tonight. It was Wood and McTominay were to come in together. I don't know how McTominay ended up on the deck, but he did. And it looks like Wood's the guilty party. I don't know what John Moss saw of that, but he's, I think, given a free kick.
I think Wood this season, though, I mean, I mentioned then about Lennon and Wood. I don't think Wood's really been at his best this season. We saw at the end of last season when he scored a hat-trick against Wolves, a first-half hat-trick. You know, Wood, he's a player who does kind of feed off scraps in this Burnley team, and he does it very well. The last few seasons, he's always at around 10-15 goals, but I feel like this season we're not really seeing the same player, and I think defenders are slowly starting to find him out, really, and when he's not scoring, Burnley don't really have many goals in the team, and for me, that's concerning for Sean Dyche.
Yeah, I mean, it could be he's a sort of bellwether for how they're doing as a team. You know, are they getting enough crosses in for Wood? Are they seeing enough possession and territory to play Wood in? Here comes Shaw behind Ronaldo. Cavani tries something fancy. Breaks the Greenwood shot, saved by the keeper. Did well in the end because there were plenty of pace on that. I mean, Cavani tried to make a mess of it, but at least Greenwood got his shot away.
Yeah, I think Greenwood would have been better going low, really. Like I say, I think Cavani makes a mess of it. It kind of turns out to be a good height for Hennessy when Greenwood hits it. I think if Greenwood goes low there, it makes Hennessy get down and to make a good save. But in the end, his shot was a good height for Hennessy to save. But no, Hennessy was still in the right position as Manchester United have a corner.
They do. Corner kick comes in, headed away by Berg Gudmundsson at the near post. Breaks to Wan-Bissaka. And then Sancho on the ball. And now with Shaw, who looked like he was going to measure a crossing, but he goes narrow. Matic then spoons it out to the right for Greenwood. On to his left foot now, which seems to be his favourite, but he can shoot with either foot. He certainly can cross with either foot. Anyway, it's with Sancho now. Spoons the ball in, headed away. And then Cavani tries the ball. It's not a good one. And it's picked up by Lowton, who flicks one over the halfway line. It's a good ball for Wood if he can just cut and wait. Needs a bit of support. And Lennon there found himself marked. So the ball goes backwards for McNeil now. And then further back for Lowton, who pings it out to the left-hand side. Ball taken on the chest of Taylor, who, well, disappointing that. I mean, it was a ball that sort of drilled to him a long way, but he had plenty of time to bring that ball under his spell, and in the end he took it out for a throw for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think Burnley's lack of pace was exposed in that attack. We saw Loughton play a really good ball down the line to Wood. He's waiting for his options, but Burnley not eager to get many bodies forward, and I think the lack of pace was kind of shown there, really. I think that's why the attack broke down, and of course, as you say, that a ball over to Taylor makes a real hash of it, to be honest, and it goes out for a throw in a promising position, breaks down for Burnley.
We're really disappointed with Charlie Taylor tonight. He's a much better player than we've seen. Like to see him get forward a little bit. Maybe he's been told to hold his ground tonight under some pressure. Anyway, here's an opportunity for Manchester United, but Mee comes across and deals with it before Sancho can get there. So Man United 3, Burnley 1, 53 minutes gone. It's been a fairly good game for the neutral. Well, we've seen 4 goals. Second half, well, it's all to play for, really. I mean, in that respect, Man United have got 3. The crowd want to be entertained, and I think the players want to give the crowd something to cheer about. I don't believe that they feel like they've stopped scoring, and if you got somebody like Ronnie in your team, he's never satisfied, is he? From Burnley's point of view, like we said, if they can grab a goal early, they'll feel they're in the game. Man United have been fairly good going forward, but deadly average at the back, and Lennon has caught them on the hop a couple of times. Needs to get involved a little bit more. Anyway, Man United with Wan-Bissaka finds McTominay. He's forced backwards though. And now with Bailly, who again waits for Lennon to come. He will close him down. But look how far Bert Goodmanson was away from Marouane Wan-Bissaka. Eventually Westwood comes to help out, but some sloppy passing from United. I think it looks like the Red Devils think that they've won it already, and they're just a little bit sloppy on the ball.
Yeah, I agree. You can't think that. I mean, it's 2 goals, and a 2-goal lead, a dangerous lead. If Burnley get a goal, no matter when it is, they're in trouble. United, they're on the back foot, and Burnley will gain confidence, and of course then they could go on and get another. See a sloppy free kick given away by Luke Shaw. But I agree, I don't think Manchester United can think they've won this game yet. There's still work to do. But I mean, well, see, you mentioned about Ronaldo a moment ago. Yes, he scored in this game, but he's not looked satisfied all game, Ronaldo. I think a lot of that is to the high standards he sets himself. But I mean, his goal was a real poacher's goal, really. Kind of sums up the player Ronaldo's come in the last few years.
Yeah, he is more a fox in the box, isn't he, than an inside left, which is pretty much what he used to be. Well, he's a brilliant striker and, a great number 9. He's good in the air as well. He can do anything he wants if he keeps on scoring. But anyway, long ball out from Hennessy, and Wood rises for it, but he's beaten by Maguire in the air. Ball might just break here. Loughton clips it on the inside of Sancho. Then Goodmanson finds Loughton again. Can he get the cross in? Steps inside. Gets the ball back. Chance for Goodmanson. Cross comes in. Looking for Wood. He's laid it back for Cork. Maybe a chance now. And I think the flag had gone up for offside. Didn't look that obvious to me, but clearly to the man with the flag on the far side. Who was it? Well, let's take a look. Wood there. I think that's good by Eric Bailly. He just stepped up on him at the right time. Yeah, good play from Bailly. He notices the cross is going to come in. We know it's going for Wood, and Bailly steps up, and he's obviously offside there. But they'll look for that ball a lot though into Wood, and I mean, if Wood gets a flick on, or even it falls to him himself, then that will cause this United defence problems, no doubt. But yeah, on that occasion, though, good defending by Bailly. So, Burnley. I don't think the fans will be too disheartened. They've probably seen it all before. It's not great being in the bottom 3, but they've got games in hand. Watford have looked poor. I've covered them recently, all bar Emmanuel Dennis, who has been superb. But as a collective, Watford don't look particularly good. And Newcastle and Norwich have played 19 games, and they're in the bottom 3. Any team can go on a little bit of a run, but it's more difficult, I guess, to see from Norwich's point of view that happening. And Newcastle played well last time, but I think got injuries to Saint-Maximin and also Wilson, so I don't know how that's going to pan out. But anyway, reasons to be cheerful for Burnley, games in hand, and the fact that they've been there, done it before, and tend to find a way out of it, don't they, with Sean Dyche, who is clearly a very good manager, I think, albeit that there must be long suffering. As we see, a header from range for Wood, an easy save for De Gea. But I wouldn't fancy being a season ticket holder at Turf Moor. I mean, at best, they win playing agricultural football. It's a bit of a grind, and every season it is, and it's hardly champagne football, is it? There must be a long-suffering bunch, the Clarets fans.
Yeah, I'd agree with that there. I think Burnley, I think they're into their 7th consecutive season. Of course, got promoted in 2016, and with Dale Stevens about to enter the fray as well. So a first sub of the game made by Sean Dyche. But Burnley, as you say, they don't play pretty football, but I mean, as long as they're staying in the Premier League, I think Sean Dyche is doing a very good job. And with limited funds, it must be noted as well. So yeah, full credit to the job Dyche has done. But as you say, the football certainly isn't the prettiest.
Yep, a no-nonsense manager with a no-nonsense club or non-spending club, maybe. Anyway, Luton puts their foot in there, gets there ahead of Sancho, but he wins it back. He finds Shaw. And, the game looking a little bit one-sided now, but Matic runs down a blind alley. He gives it away, the Serbian, to Goodmanson, who's had a difficult game so far. Johan Berg Goodmanson, I've seen him at times and thought, yeah, he's superb, but not necessarily superb today as Jack Cork's about to go off. And it is Dale Stevens coming on.
I think Jack Cork's an underrated midfielder, personally. He's not had his best game this evening, maybe, but I think Jack Cork's vital to this Burnley team. But Dale Stevens may be a little bit more attack-minded than Cork. Maybe that's why Dyche is making the change, or maybe Cork isn't 100% fit, who knows. But I think Cork's usually vital to how Burnley play. But I mean, obviously, when you got Westwood and Cork together in the middle of the park, maybe you do need someone a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah, it might be like he's got a niggle or something like that. But anyway, the games come thick and fast for Burnley. If they're, if the league schedule goes ahead, I believe that there's another game in the next raft of games that's just been called off. So, we need to keep sorting out. Leicester, Norwich City on the 1st of January is now being called off. Anyway. Closing in on the hour mark as Maguire lays the ball back to his keeper, and the Devil seems to have gone out of the game a little bit. The home team pretty much on top. It's almost like everybody's just settled for what it is. Man United have won, Burnley have lost, and they kind of seem to be going through the motions out there right now.
Yeah, compared to the first half, it's been a very sluggish second half already. I mean, we've played nearly an hour, but first 45 minutes very entertaining. Both teams eager to get forward, play their best attacking football at times, but not really happened yet in the second half really. But Burnley have got a bit of a chance here maybe as a cross comes in, but Maguire clears it away. I think if Burnley get a goal, that'll certainly liven the game up, but right now, just say, both teams seem quite happy.
Dale Stevens falls down in opportune time, having worked hard to put Aaron Wan-Bissaka under pressure, and now Cavani on the ball. He lays that ball back, so Shaw can run onto it. I thought the fullbacks had been important for Rangnick's team tonight. Not necessarily. I know that they like to work them up the field and put them in good position, but yeah, they've not played as narrowly as they did at Newcastle, I feel. And so that hasn't meant that there's a great big gap for them to work into. And equally, Taylor and Lowton haven't really left their positions. They've tended to stay in their own half, which has meant that the full-backs for Manchester United have not really made any ground.
Yeah, I don't think Wan-Bissaka's the most promising player going forward anyway. To be honest, he's very much a defensive right back, of course. We know his tackling ability. I think we've seen it a lot from Shaw. Shaw had a big part to play in the second goal as well. I think we've seen it a lot more from him. But I don't really think that's down to Rangnick. I think that's the way Shaw often plays anyway, to be honest. Obviously, as we see now on the overlap. But no, actually, I don't really think they've made too much of an impact, really.
Anyway, the ball through the box there and eventually breaks to Dwight McNeil. And he picks it up. A little bit too deep to do any damage there, but he finds Westwood. Then it's Lowton. 2 or 3 touches maybe just means that they lose momentum. And Stevens a good ball forward. Lens a nice turn there, came out of the line, and now they're able to go forward. That's a terrible ball to McNeil, and easily read by Wan-Bissaka. And now the ball with Mason Greenwood. He drives over the halfway line and lays it back. I mean, for Manchester United, going backwards as good as any now. Just looking at that fixture, I think it was down to do that on New Year's Day, so That's a big gap in my programme now. Anyway, you have to keep your eye on the prize, don't you? Because I'm sure that won't be the last game that's ruled out. Anyway, Man United 3, Burnley 1. And the other game tonight was ruled out. But this one has gone ahead, and I'm sure Manchester United fans are delighted about that. The Everton-Newcastle game was called off. It was scheduled earlier. But now a little bit of work for the Manchester United defence to do as Aaron Lennon into the box, but he tangles with the Bailly. And did he to end the ball out, Eric Bailly? I think he probably did. Could Lennon have cut inside on him there?
I think the last touch actually comes off Lennon, but it has been given as a corner. But good drive forward from Lennon, really, the first we've seen from Burnley in a while. Bailly stays on his feet though, and like I say, I think Lennon would have been better off cutting inside, because we know his right foot is much stronger than his left. But Bailly shows him down the line, and in the end though, Lennon wins his side a corner, and Burnley have got to make the most of these sorts of opportunities. Yeah, it was good defending, wasn't it? But he didn't get the right decision there. As the corner comes in from Westwood, near post, through the box, bounces, and eventually is cleared away. Now Greenwood on the counter-attack. Look at that ball forward to Sancho. It's a cracker, isn't it? And he's bearing down on goal, held up by McNeil. Sancho looking for time and space. He's held up. Now Ronaldo inside the box, able to twist and turn. Momentum lost. Rolls it to the edge of the area. Shot comes in, tipped over. I fancy by Hennessy. McTominay's shot might just have been dropping in. Yeah, what a counter-attack from Manchester United. Slows down a little bit with Sancho. Not the best pass to Ronaldo, but he is very much off balance. And Ronaldo nearly with his second assist of the evening for McTominay. It's a really good effort from the Scotsman. I think it might have just been dipping in. We'll see from this angle here. I think it might have been just about dipping in, but a good touch by Wayne Hennessy keeps the score at 3-1. But not a bad effort at all from McTominay, that. Yeah, did well. I fancy that's going in. It's a good shot from McTominay, isn't it? Who has got a good strike about him. I thought when I'd seen him play for Scotland, he just plays a bit too deep when he clearly got an eye for goal. Anyway, Shaw now takes the corner kick, headed away at the near post, and easily dealt with. A little trick by Westwood, but he runs into a red shirt, and that means he can't get the ball away. It goes all the way back to De Gea, who's looking for options, and then he really just has to chip it in front of him. Cavani having a tussle with Ben Mee, doesn't necessarily win it, in fact actually does well and lays the ball back. But Cavani has been a back number today. He scarcely been involved at all, hasn't needed to be. Greenwood's had a good game, I fancy. He keeps popping up all over. And we're going to see Varane come on now. I don't really understand that necessarily, but for me, Bailly's had a decent game. We just saw some good defending from him. He and Maguire beginning to build some kind of understanding. Let's haul one of them off unless they're putting Varane in a different position in midfield or something. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, this, actually. As you say, I don't really... Maybe Varane wants Varane to get some minutes in the tank. Of course, Varane, as I mentioned, his career's been very stop-start. Bailly's down injured here, which will explain it. And Bailly, of course, is about to go to the African Cup of Nations as well, of course, with the Ivory Coast. So the last thing he'll want right now is an injury. But, yeah, unfortunately, it looks like his evening here is coming to an end. Yeah, it does. And, well, Varane's not a bad player to bring in. Former Real Madrid man and French international. He's had a really good career, hasn't he? And yeah, he's not a bad player to bring off the bench. I mean, what's he now, 28? I mean, he should be in his prime. I know it doesn't necessarily work that way, but I think the better centre-backs can play until they're, started out very young. Varane, of course, brought into the Real Madrid team at a very young age by Jose Mourinho about a decade ago. Very good career there, 4 Champions League triumphs, of course, and he's a fantastic signing for Manchester United. His career, unfortunately, has been very stop-start due to injuries, but I believe if he does get fully fit and him and Maguire build a partnership, then I think Man United have got a very good partnership there. But again, it's just down to can Varane stay fit. Yeah, he's won a lot of medals, hasn't he, Varane? Anyway. Ball chipped up there and eventually dealt with by Tarkowski. He launches a long ball to Wood, who can't quite bring that one in. But again, it's Lennon wins the ball. And he's got an opportunity here. Plays McNeil just the edge of the area. He wasn't a good angle, that ball. Just left McNeil a lot to do. But Lennon won that ball again. He's been so lively tonight. I think Lennon deserves to keep his place in the Burnley team. He's only made one start this season. That was against Norwich earlier in the season. But I think Lennon's been very, very good this evening. He's been lively. Just then McTominay sleeping a little bit on the ball there, McTominay. But fair play to Lennon. I think he's been very good for Burnley tonight. And I think he'll be unlucky if he doesn't maintain his place in the starting 11 in the next game.
Yeah, I think he's a 7 out of 10 tonight. His goal was good as well. Anyway, corner kick comes into the far post. Opportunity for Ben Mee, but he got underneath it a little bit. He was contested as well, and his header ended up sailing over the top of the goal frame. Anyway, we're 3/4 of the way through. You're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio commentary from the game at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. I'm John Hogan, and now to take us through to full-time is Sam Wright.
Thank you very much, John. It will be David De Gea to take a goal kick. Ben Mee there you saw from that corner. Burnley in truth have had a couple of corners in the second half which have caused United a couple of issues, but Mee there really unable to get a meaningful header on goal. Will be De Gea to take the goal kick. Up towards Ronaldo, who gets a flick on, but that just takes it through to Lowton. It goes back to Wayne Hennessy. And that's controlled by the substitute Dale Stephens, who finds Westwood. Westwood down the line, but Maguire comes across and heads away. Matic just about get that one in. Lowton, Stephens on to Wood. Does well there, Chris Wood. The ball's back with Lowton. Only one change in the game so far. Well, two changes, my apologies. One for each team. Rafa Varane coming on for Manchester United and Dale Stephens for Burnley. His ball finds Lennon. Lennon to McNeil. Out to Taylor. McNeil steps away well. Tries to get a cross in. Eventually still has it. McNeil does get a cross in, but is blocked by Wan-Bissaka and comes back off him. And Greenwood has it in his own area. Gets it away, and he's not. Oh, he is fouled. He's a bit lucky, Greenwood. He is fouled there, because if it wasn't, then Burnley had a bit of a promising chance.
Yeah, Sean Dyche is not buying into that, is he? He didn't quite agree that there was a foul. Again, it's Lennon. He really does catch Greenwood dead late there, doesn't he? It should be a yellow card, that. Yeah,
it's a bit of a late catch, as you say. And I mean, the referee actually took a while to give it. I think he was waiting to see if there was any advantage, which there wasn't. But I don't think Sean Dyche or Lennon can have too many complaints about that one. McTominay finds Varane. Goes back to De Gea. Of course, Varane and De Gea could well have been teammates if De Gea had joined Real Madrid back in 2015, when he very nearly came close to doing so. But they are teammates now a few years later. Shaw on to Ronaldo. To Matic. Not a great ball from Ronaldo. Chris Wood wins that away from Matic. Wood finds Westwood. McNeil. He's got Taylor on the overlap. Taylor with a cross. Good ball. It's headed away by Varane, and Cavani then with not the best chest down, but then United can bring it away. Here's Ronaldo. Ronaldo brings it forward and finds Sancho. United do have a few numbers forward. Burnley are also getting bodies back. Sancho cross in towards Ronaldo, heads it down to Cavani, and it's a good save by Hennessy. I think the flag's gone up anyway, but Hennessy, got his body in the way there and made a pretty good save.
Yeah, he did the old star jump, didn't he? Very reminiscent of Peter Schmeichel, wasn't it? But anyway, good save that. Let's look at Cavani's movement.
Oh, it's tight, that.
Yeah, it's not. I would have said he was level there, but anyway, the flag went up. He's looking straight down the line, the assistant referee. He actually ended up saving it with his chin, Hennessy, but it didn't matter which part he did. And it was a 50-50 call that on the flag, wasn't it?
Yes, very much so. I mean, if it had gone in, VAR might have had it saying that, but Hennessy did keep it out anyway. Some full-time scores from the Championship. Bournemouth 3, Cardiff City 0, Bristol City 1, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Huddersfield Town 1, but Stoke City 1, Derby County 2. Wayne Rooney certainly giving it his all, and if Derby were to stay up in the Championship, it would be some story, that's fair to say, wouldn't it, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, there's another player gone down. That's Greenwood holding the back of his head, and anyway, must have got clipped there from that corner kick. Oh, it's not a good challenge, that, is it, by Tarkowski, flinging an arm out. We see that all too often, and I don't know. I mean, the argument would be that Tarkowski's arms have got to go somewhere when he's rising for that, but it looks really messy. And maybe his arm just stretched out a little bit more than perhaps naturally. I don't know. You can't take contact out of the game, can you, like that? But sometimes I just wonder, whether these bits of contact are meant or not.
It was a bit of a needless foul, really, that by Tarkowski. I mean, foul hasn't been given, but it was definitely, not saying it was intentional, but it certainly left a little bit in on Greenwood there. And of course, head injuries these days are very much looked at as well. But
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, right, you'd have to know what's in Tarkowski's heart. Was it a slide when he was getting in there, or was he truly off balance? For me, it looked like his arm was just stretched a bit too far out. Sometimes you look to protect yourself, somebody flying in, but when the sharp point of your elbow's out, then you can really do some damage with that. And I think the referees need to take a look at those kind of challenges.
Yeah, Westwood plays one down the line looking for Lennon. He might get there ahead of Maguire. He does. Good play by Lennon into the area. Up against Varane. Plays one in, but Maguire gets there and Varane can complete the clearance. But again, Lennon making a nuisance of himself, but the flag eventually goes up anyway. But just about got that away, United. And I mean, second half has been a bit of a sleeper half in truth compared to the first. But you do still feel that Burnley do get a goal soon. There could be issues for Manchester United.
Yeah, that's true. I think Lennon was just offside there. They headed the ball. And then I felt it was up to Wood to get goal side, the right side of his man anyway. Vidra's going to come on now, maybe for Lennon. They feel he's not had enough, or he's, it's shy match practice, but he's probably been Burnley's best player, hasn't he?
Vidra is going to come onto the field, and it will be for Aaron Lennon, the man who did score the goal for Burnley. Vidra actually got a crucial equaliser recently against Chelsea at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, in a 1-1 draw. So does certainly pop up with a goal now and then, the Czech Republic forward. But Lennon, a really good evening's work for Aaron Lennon. I feel like I've been watching Lennon from a few years ago, really. He's been very impressive this evening, and he goes off surely being Burnley's best player on the day. De Gea about to take a free kick, as Lennon was offside. De Gea forward. Headed away by me. There's a clash of heads there between me and Cavani. I don't know if me left a little bit in on Cavani actually there. Look, interested to see the replay here.
Yeah, absolutely. They both rise, they're both looking at the ball.
I don't think there's too much in that, to be honest. I think Cavani may have made a bit more of it than it was. We'll have a better look. I mean, he's a little bit of a hand, I guess, but I don't think it's too much in that.
Yeah, but again, it's really sloppy, isn't it? Sloppy style, leave something in there. I don't feel he was hurt as much as Greenwood was. But it's like a hand, it's like a necessary roughness, if you like. I know that's a genteel way of saying it, but I believe he purposefully left something in. I do still feel that players get away with murder, really. And the more they're left to do that by the referees, the more they'll continue. But for me, it was a needless challenge from Ben Mee. And also for me, it should be a free kick and it should be a yellow card for Ben Mee.
Yeah, Cavani's not happy. He's got to go off the pitch for a moment here until he has waved back on. But him and Ben Mee exchanged a couple of words afterwards as well. But Cavani, not really a forward who'd like a challenge like that, is he, Cavani? Quite a physical player himself.
Well, I think it's fair enough that. You go up for a ball and then an arm comes across you, slaps you in the face. Now, it brought him tumbling to the ground. You don't need that in football, and Cavani's miffed, didn't he? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. In what walk of life can you get away with slapping somebody in the face like that? They're silly things. And I don't want football to be a non-contact sport, but you shouldn't be able to get away with that.
No, in the end, it's balls in possession with Burnley, though. Westwood finds me. Me to Taylor. Back to me again. Stevens. Tarkowski finds me as Burnley keep a spell of possession. That's charged down though well by McTominay. I mean, Burnley all good them having possession in their own half, but really they've got to get at the other end of the field if they are to have any hope of getting what would be a miraculous draw at this point at Old Trafford. But the second half, as we say, really both teams have seemed pretty content really with the way the game is compared to the first, especially. Wan-Bissaka steps out and the ball falls to Stevens, who goes to play the ball up. And as a player for Goodmanson it was, claiming he was blocked off by Shaw. The referee didn't think there was anything wrong with it though. Here's Sancho out to Ronaldo on the left hand side. Ronaldo still has it. Finds McTominay on the edge of the area. McTominay back out to Jadon Sancho. Shaw. Sancho. Back to Matic. Sancho. Shaw, good 1-2 played there on the left-hand side. Which I imagine I'm just happy to keep possession though for now. Sancho still has it, steps away well from Goodmanson. Then goes to Shaw, who crosses in, and it's headed away by Tarkowski. McTominay takes it down well, and he's surely fouled there by Stevens. He is. That's a really needless free kick to give away there by the Burnley substitute.
Yeah. If Burnley do go down this season, I'm not sure they'll be missed by too many, will they? You know, in the first half, we're buying into the bit of industry they've got. He was hardly tagged at all, McTominay there, but all too often they sort of resort to roughhousing and being just too physical, don't they? They're a nasty, niggling team at times. You know, at their best, they're full of industry, work rate, and well organised and all that. You know, they're very dynamic at times, but at their worst, they're quite a boring team to watch. And then, like I said, too aggressive, as they've been in the second half. It's like, well, we're not going to get back into the game, so we'll do the mess around with you. And anyway, it's a free kick now and an opportunity for Ronaldo.
Yeah, we know Ronaldo can certainly hit them. It's not too far from goal either, around about 25 yards, you'd say. A big Burnley wall there, but Ronaldo, of course, we certainly know can hit them, as mentioned. Is going to be Ronaldo. He hits it, it's into the wall though, and it's a block, and then that's actually at Tarkowski, who's felt the effects of it, and McTominay's ball back in is easily through to Hennessy. Not one of Ronaldo's finest efforts, and Tarkowski certainly felt the effect of it.
Yeah, he stopped it with his face. His teammate was it who came over and just booted him then when he's on the deck. Anyway,
he stopped it with his head, Tarkowski, and he's felt the effects of the power of it. And
I think it went from forehead down his nose a bit, and but certainly feeling that. You know, talk about concussion in the game. You've got to be brave sometimes, don't you? Particularly in that wall. And I think Ronnie hits it pretty hard, doesn't he? Anyway, they're about to bring another sub on. Burnley, this game looks dead and buried now, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes, the game does look dead and buried. Did say if Burnley got a goal early in the second half, they could cause a few issues, but there's never really been a sign of that, bar a couple of dangerous corners. It's been pretty comfortable half for Manchester United in truth, who seem happy to see out the game, and they are going to bring on Diogo Dalot now, who did start against Newcastle United on Monday evening.
Yeah, presumably on for Wan-Bissaka if it's like for like, but you never really know.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be a free kick, well, goal kick, should say, taken. It's actually going to be a drop ball, in fact, and Harry Maguire then will hit it forward towards Sancho. It's a good ball, actually, by Maguire. Sancho up against Lowton. Sancho into Ronaldo, into the area. The ball doesn't break, though, and then can clear away. And then Vidra up against Varane. Varane always winning that battle, but Vidra then heads it down to McNeil. Stevens. Lay off to McNeil. McTominay steps in and plays it off McNeil, and that will be a throw in. I think Scott McTominay has got a good claim of being man of the match this evening, John. He's been very good, the Scottish midfielder.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's been wholehearted. He wants to win every ball, doesn't he? And he has had a good night. I think they've been pretty solid elsewhere. Greenwood has played particularly well, but really, I think Bayer and Maguire have done all right. But yeah, I think quite right that Scott McTominay, definite man of the match.
And speaking of Mason Greenwood, at the end of his evening, he's gone off for Diogo Dalot, not Aaron Wan-Bissaka, assuming now Dalot will play a little bit further up the field. But I think it's been a good night's work for Mason Greenwood, unfortunately unable to end his goal drought, but certainly had lively moments in the game. Ball forward, and it's headed away by Varane. Here's Taylor. Out to McNeil. McNeil not scored all season for Burnley, surprisingly. Westwood pings one out, it's on a bad ball, that to Lowton. Takes it down up against Sancho. In the end he loses out though. Sancho wins it off him. Well, his touch is heavy and it goes out for a throw in. Manchester United fans on that far side appreciating Sancho's work ethic, and as I've mentioned a few times this evening, maybe the best is yet to come from him in a Manchester United shirt. Goodmanson and Shaw having a go on the left hand side, but Shaw wins it. The ball's now with Sancho. McTominay steps away well and wins a free kick. And again, Burnley, as you said, really, as the half's gone on, they've kind of resorted to committing needless fouls. And you see McTominay's frustration there, really. I say Burnley don't really need to do these fouls, really. It's just winding Manchester United up.
Yeah, and it doesn't really help them either. You know, a better referee, I think, may have given them a few cards, and then you're obviously looking at suspensions. They haven't got a great big squad, have they? So winding everybody up and getting themselves carded is probably not the way forward for them.
Ball by Maguire, headed away by Tarkowski to Sancho. Sancho crosses in towards Cavani, and he just heads it down instead. Here's Dalot. Dalot plays a low one in. It's well read though by Stevens, and it will be away. I mean, Cavani, good forwards play from him to head that down to Dalot, but in the end though, well read by Stevens. Dalot will be to take the throw in. Wan-Bissaka. His ball does find Harry Maguire just inside the D. He finds Ronaldo. Fine evening's work for them. Wan-Bissaka. Matic rolls on to Luke Shaw. Maguire. He'll be 10 points out of a possible 12 for Ralph Rangnick, and despite United's performances maybe not being at their best, certainly can't argue with that. Here's Dalot. Dalot crosses with his left foot. It's headed away by Tarkowski, and then Stevens can complete the clearance. He can't. Shaw on the volley, and it just goes over. If Luke Shaw rallied that into the back of the net, it would have been some strike.
It sure would. I think there's a real big problem at Manchester United in there. We've got an interim manager. What does that mean? It means that maybe they didn't get the man that they wanted, and so we're treading water again. Eric Peters is about to come on. That's for Dwight McNeil. So, what style do Man United play? Well, everything's got to go through Ronnie, really, hasn't it? And if he's not running anymore, then, it doesn't really support that. I'm not sure about this 4-2-2-2 formation or whatever it is. It seems a bit odd that they're a bit too narrow, and that depends too much on the full-backs getting forward. Whether they've got the right blend in there, and like we said, they bought Ronaldo when, what was required by Solskjaer was, world-class defensive midfielder anyway. I think it's still a job. They've got so many good players, though, that, occasionally they're going to have good nights, aren't they, and win comfortably. But the long-term project for them to sort of have their own identity back, who are they? What sort of team are they? I don't think anybody could really answer that right now.
And of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, you certainly can't argue with how good Ronaldo is, of course, and if he's in your team, you've always got a chance of winning games. But we saw at Juventus last season, though, of course, under Andrea Pirlo, him being in the team, of course, Juventus really fell off, and maybe it's caused a few issues for United as well. The ball comes in, Ronaldo heads it down, it's headed away by Eric Peters with his first touch. Maybe, obviously, building your team around a 36-year-old player, despite it is Cristiano Ronaldo, we know how good he is.
Well, it's back to the future. Remember, they had a year with Zlatan.
Absolutely.
And he was great, but everything had to go through him, didn't it? And and in the end, you develop a style of play just all around one player. Well, hang on, when you're spending multi-million on all sorts of different players, however good Ronnie is, you can't just have him up top, or can you? I don't know. I don't know the answer to it, but like I said, I don't think anybody really does.
Absolutely not. I mean, of course, with Ronaldo, you did mention that season under Zlatan. Zlatan, of course, did very well, but obviously revolving the team around a player, of course, in it over 30, isn't always the best thing for the rest of the team. Of course, the likes of Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford now really trying to set their claim as Manchester United's main man. And of course, with Ronaldo around, that's probably never really going to happen. So that's why it might cause a few issues. But Burnley are in possession now. Here's Peters. Plays it forward, blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Taylor finds Stevens. Westwood plays one out to right hand side to Lowton. Back to Westwood. Westwood goes back to Tarkowski, who finds me. Me in possession inside his own half. Goes forward, and ball will be returned to the centre-back, who has the unfortunate thing of an own goal in this game. But usually a very reliable player for Burnley, Ben Mee, down the years. Been at Burnley now for nearly a decade. Ball to Westwood. It's a really good ball into Vidra, who just can't control, actually, and it goes out. But good ball that by Westwood, and if Vidra was a bit more alert, he might well have been in.
Yeah, absolutely. When we take a look, the ball round the corner is a good one. Vidra makes a decent run, but he's going with his right foot. I mean, has he got a left foot there? That's what he should have been extending. I always think, you look at these players and how much money do they get, paid when they train? Do they work on their weaker foot? Seemingly not Matej Vidra. And your thoughts about Scott McTominay? Absolutely confirmed, but there wasn't any other real outstanding candidate, was there? As Sir Alex Ferguson looks on, he's, from what we believe the banners in the crowd, he's 80 years old today.
Yes, tomorrow will be Sir Alex Ferguson's 80th birthday. A very happy birthday to Sir Alex, of course, a Premier League legend, of course. What a manager he was in the Premier League. 13 league titles won for him. And Wan-Bissaka, that's a really poor back pass by Wan-Bissaka, and Burnley have a corner. He made a real mess of that, Wan-Bissaka. Never looked comfortable in possession, and then give De Gea a really poor back pass and concedes a corner. Do
you know what? We'd probably give the first half 8 out of 10. I'm struggling to give this second half 4 out of 10. It's, an awful game of football it turned into.
It's turned into a bit of a snoozer, it's fair to say. The second half, both teams not really showed much ambition to go forward. It's a corner by Westwood. It's not a bad one. A head is in there, and it just headed wide. But a lot of Burnley heads going up for that. It was Tarkowski in the end who got a touch, but just wide. But there's certainly a chance there for Burnley. Yeah,
they've had 2 chances second half, and they've both been headers. Mee and Tarkowski have both failed to hit the target. On another day, those can scrape in, then we'd have an exciting last couple of minutes or so. But as it is, it's 2 goals to overcome, 2 goals too many seemingly for Burnley.
Yeah, I was just looking at it again. Tarkowski really has a good chance. He just directs the head of the wrong side of the post, and see Sean Dyche's disappointment on the sideline. He certainly wouldn't have targeted this as a 3-pointer, Dyche, of course, for it as a must-win. But standing points, of course, are a bonus when you're down there scrapping for relegation. But that game against Leeds, though, has become very, very important for his side. Throw in to Stevens. Here's Taylor. Back to Tarkowski. Plays one out to Lowton. Lowton down to Vidra, who heads it on. It's not a bad head on either, and the ball will fall. It's a really good chance. It's a complete miss-hit by Peters, and again Burnley United not really a bit of a sleep at the back, and Peters just a wild swing and a chance goes begging.
Well, Man United have been sleepwalking their way through the second half, but unfortunately for Burnley, they've not been good enough to punish them. We look at the run of Peters, runs onto the ball. And Lee said Sinus Mendy, he goes with his right foot. I think it's his standing leg, his left leg, and somehow the ball ends up going backwards. But that was terrible. Yeah, well, so that kind of sums up the second half in truth. Here come Manchester United though with Ronaldo with the cross. It's blocked by Taylor. Ronaldo again with a volley. It goes wide. Always going to be hard to score from there for Ronaldo, but of course he would have tried it. But yeah, it goes wide, and the 90 minutes are up now, and it's interesting how much added time we have. 3 minutes, and of course the way the second half's gone, I think both teams are happy for the game to end at this rate. I mean, for Burnley, I don't want to expend too much more energy, really. This cause was lost after 45 minutes, seemingly, for Man United. Just want to get in now and enjoy the victory. At home, scoring 3 goals, they will feel business as usual. But again, it's been a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde performance from Manchester United tonight. Yeah, of course, Ralph Rangnick has certainly had a favourable first few games in charge. Looks like Fred is going to come on in the final couple of moments here. Very late to make a sub here for Rangnick. I thought he might just want to see the game out at this point, really, of course, with the 3 minutes. He might not even get on the pitch, Fred, at this rate either. So, definitely is thinking about that. But, of course, they have had a few games. They have got 10 points out of 12, though, which is important to Rangnick, that he has got some points on the board early doors for Manchester United. Yeah, I mean, it's his dress rehearsal, isn't it? Is he going to get the gig? Well, you find that they're really hit and miss, aren't they, Manchester United? I think his term in charge will be defined about how they go against the bigger clubs. It's all right beating Burnley, but you've got to compete against the Man Cities and Liverpools and Chelseas of this world. And once Manchester United can mount a challenge to those guys, or get victories or draws off those, then they'll know that they're there or thereabouts.
Here come Burnley now with Peters out to Taylor. Taylor gets a cross in, it's blocked by Wan-Bissaka, and McTominay can complete the clearance. Dalot then hoofs it forward. Ronaldo certainly should be in an offside position. There he is, and he just plays the ball out and says, "But you have it, Burnley," for the last few moments. I'm sure Ronaldo knew he was offside then, judging by his body language, but that's what, of course, you get for being so high up the pitch at this stage of the game. About a minute to go of the 3, and looks like there is going to be a substitution, and it will be Fred coming on for Cristiano Ronaldo. Bit of a cameo for Fred, I guess. Lads, I don't really understand this substitution, but I guess it just gives Ragnick a reason, I guess, to give someone a couple of seconds.
Yeah, Ronnie gets a hand when he comes off, all feeds the ego. Don't really know, just buys a little bit of time, I suppose.
Yeah, ball by Hennessy, forward, it's headed, and it's actually straight at De Gea, but another chance for Burnley. It was Tarkowski up there, he did well competing with Maguire. Maguire's actually came off a little bit injured in it, but again, a ball forward does cause Manchester United a couple of problems, and their defence sleepwalking again a little bit.
Maguire thinks he's in control of that, and then the next thing you know, Tarkowski's beating him. He seems to be in control all the way through that, watching the ball. Very diligent Maguire until the moment that Tarkowski gets ahead of him and nods his effort on target, and he's picked up a slight injury. Well, anyway, I don't think we'll have to wait too long now. He picks himself up, and the referee will blow his whistle almost immediately after the restart, you fancy.
Well, as you can see, this is Burnley's first Premier League game in 18 days, so I think Sean Dyche, of course, will be happy. His side have just got to run out, really, of course, here, because it's been so long for Burnley, so many postponements. They do have the games in hand, but the argument would be, do you want to have the games in hand or the points on the board? The full-time whistle has blown at Old Trafford. Final score, Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. All the goals coming in the first half. Scott McTominay, a Ben Mee own goal, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Aaron Lennon pulled back consolation. Second half was a bit of a sleeper, but final score, Manchester United 3, Burnley 1.